Hello, ladies and listeners. My name is Joey Tuason, your hairless host, and welcome to the Individual Collective Show. On today's episode, we have Mr. Mito Fabie, also known as Curtismith. He is a brilliant rapper, and his songs has resonated with millions of people in the Philippines and around the world. Today's episode is brought to you by this study by Endrin. If you're looking for co-working space, find us at Estancia Mall on the second floor. We are also brought to you by DV Tech. They handle all our equipment here. So if you want to start your own podcast or you want to do anything media related, hit them up at DV Tech on Facebook. Last but not the least, we're also brought to you by Skillshare. If you're planning to learn something new, Skillshare is this global platform which is online, so you can find classes ranging from photography to pottery to business. There's a whole lot of things in there. Check out our support page on our website, www.theindividualcollective.com. Now, Mito Fabie. What's up, Mito? How you doing?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. Good to see you again.
Of course, good to see you
So
again.
you just came back from Japan, right?
Yeah, it was my first time. Tokyo and Kyoto.
Tell me a little bit about your experience there.
Good, man. The food is great, obviously. But I think the biggest takeaway was just how I view people who are passionate about their work now and how they approach their craft and their idea of success. Very different.
Yeah, I mean, like the Japanese culture, they're very precise with everything, right? And you went to that Jiro Japanese sushi place.
Well, I stumbled into it because I ate in the restaurant right beside.
Oh, you didn't get the Michelin star food?
It's 1 year waiting.
1 year?
Yeah, to
What?
eat there.
So you just saw him?
So I went to the banyo after eating, and then I walk out of the banyo and I'm like,
Well, you made it look like on your Instagram that you ate there, so
oh,
that's...
that was not my intention.
No.
I'm super fanboy of Jiro.
Yeah,
like I love him to death. So like, just to be able to see him was like, I never get starstruck.
Yeah.
And then I see this guy and I'm like,
You got starstruck from him?
dude,
Yeah, he's a legend.
He literally took my breath away. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was a really good experience. A lot of the temples were visited in Kyoto, so. And I was with my girlfriend, so it was a really nice experience for a first time.
Yeah, everything just works there. You know, like the train and everything. It's all
Everything
efficient.
on time, dude.
Like here in the Philippines, like you can hail a bus. Like if
Yeah,
you're in
yeah.
EDSA, you can be like, hey,
Dude,
I'd
they'll
like
just
to go.
stop in the side, dude.
Yeah, then you could be like, nah, never mind. You just hailed this giant metallic whale and caused all this trouble. But there, man, everything just works.
Yeah,
man.
it's awesome, and like there were barely any homeless people. Maybe there were like 3 the whole trip I was there. The whole time I was there, and it's a mindset that you get into to get into the rhythm of Tokyo. And so for me that was really needed because like getting so used to Manila, it's like everyone's always late and this and that. So
Yeah.
parang it was nice to see a culture where everything is just people value time.
Yeah, that's true. And their
Yeah.
craft as well with everything, their food, and even like the vending machines are like the best fried rice I ever had was from a Japanese vending machine.
That's crazy.
It was just everything just works there. It's great. So I mean, you've been in the music industry for a while.
Yeah, a couple of
And
years, man.
You've showcased your individuality really in your music. You know, like your brand name has a lot of wit to it. You know, you're a
Cool,
very
thank
witty
you.
person. You really channeled your experiences into your lyrics.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
your style of rap as well. All of these things sort of represent you as an individual, right?
Cool.
How would you say that has played a role in your success so far?
The authenticity of it, I guess, and not trying to be something I'm not. Like not trying to just make a poppy trend. Although I would love to make a radio hit, it's not the agenda or the approach I take once I enter the studio. The lyrics that come out of everything I make is just what I'm going through. So I always have to be experiencing new things to be able to talk about new things.
So there must be like a Japan track coming out soon.
Di naman, pero like that mindset of just, you know, it's like don't waste time.
Yeah.
Stop wasting time. You know.
So you sort of collect all those experiences and you translate it into your lyrics and you
Ideally. Yeah. when I
and you're a
can.
very idealistic person and in a
Yes.
way
Yeah.
and very ambitious too.
Yeah. Sometimes I bite off more than I can chew.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you balance like ambition with being content? How do you try to balance that?
I think now it's more contentment and gratitude because it's the mindset that if everything goes away tomorrow, I'm still grateful for just being alive, even. You know. But the ambition comes because it's like my drug. It's my passion is increasing value in something, finding something and increasing value in it, and that always requires a certain form of risk. And that risk is what gets me going, and it's that flip that, like, an example is I have a Cause set, right? It's a Cause Robert Lazzarini set that I bought when I was 18 years old for 25 grand. Now it's worth 900 grand.
Wow.
Crazy. And so I look at that before I go to sleep, and I'm just like, that's cool. Like, I can do something like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's a physical manifestation of how I want to see myself in increasing value in things. And so that can translate into I'd like that to translate into everything I get into in my life.
And increasing value in things, like, how are you doing that with music in particular?
Well, for the longest time, my music was always like a journal, like a public journal.
Yeah.
And now we were talking about this a while ago, especially after my Japan trip and understanding where I stand in the industry that I'm in today, with hip hop being the highest grossing genre, right? It's pop.
Yeah.
People see me, 99% of the country sees me as just this Konya rapper. Why the fuck do I want to listen to this Konya rapper? And for me, I am taking these risks, and I want to be as transparent as possible with the ventures that I'm doing. So I'll tell you, like, in my songs, ideally with what I write, is like, this is how much I spent, this is how much I made, this is how much I lost.
Oh, you show that to people?
That's what I'm currently working on now.
Wow.
So it's more like, it's kind of like you're talking to venture capitalists or investors. You know what I mean? And like, do you like what you hear? Are you willing to invest in the vision? Is what I'm expressing helping you? And that also, as well as the emotional stuff, I try to, to keep there as well. But
Yeah.
I want to be more like a Nipsey Hussle, a Jay-Z. Like, that is the type of approach that I really admire, and I would love to see myself doing. Never just, I never see myself as just an artist. It's everything that goes on that fuels the artistry for me.
That's true, because you also have that sort of entrepreneurial spirit in you.
Yeah, man.
And I
Up
can
in us,
see,
in us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. I've never heard of a musician do that before, like show how much they're making, how much they spent on it, and all that.
Yeah, unlike even just, using metaphors to explain it.
Oh, okay.
But even like with Jay-Z, for example, in his most recent album, 444, he talks about investing in Dumbo. How he missed investing in Dumbo, which is like a place in Brooklyn that used to be really, really dodgy, and now it's worth so much. So, like, translating that to the Philippines, like, our version of the fort 15 years ago. What is that? That could be Santa Rosa, that could be Cavite, that could be Bulacan, diba?
That's true.
So, just the insight there, maybe I could use to, once I do actually invest in something, give people an idea of what it was like to go through that journey.
Cool. And this all started as like a hobby for you, right?
Yeah, man.
Music, and you were 14 years old, and you just tried it out, and you realized that you could rap. Now, it might not be the best idea to just pursue your hobbies, right?
Yeah,
but
no way.
You can't ignore it either, right? So what are your thoughts on that? How do you find the balance?
Well, when I was making music, I was still doing other stuff. I was 20 years old, and I was working in floor sales in a store.
Wow.
I was paying my dues, man.
Yeah.
For a year, I wasn't getting paid for any gigs. So I only fully committed to music when I saw that I could give the things I didn't want to do as much up, and still not compromise my life.
Yeah.
So listen to the omens, right?
Yeah, that's true though, because like once you get so caught up on, let's say, a dream, it can really have some negative effects.
Yeah, man, there are definitely repercussions.
Especially if it doesn't work out, you know, because you put all your energy into that, you think it's gonna work out, it's your whole life. And I think that ambitious nature in us, you know, you sort of, it becomes your everything. Like you start thinking about it, you start dreaming about it, you can't sleep at night sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a disease, right? It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
how do we cure that?
Well, for me, from the failures from those, the older, more experienced people that give me advice just tell me to do more due diligence and like never to do something out of emotion. So if you're extremely happy or you're extremely sad, never make a decision. So like that's where the spirituality and the meditation come into play. It's nice. Maybe I don't do it all the time, but you know, meditate. Diba? Meditate, pray, whatever approach you want to take to still your mind and to get in touch with that the being that you believe is there for you for the betterment of your life. I think that is helpful to making the smartest decisions, you know, calculated risk.
Yeah,
And then, yeah,
that's true.
and the financials, diba? Like just looking at the financials, and I'm super bad with numbers.
Same.
So, so like if the financials, the P&L these are all the things that I'm really trying to cultivate now, that I'm understanding what it's like after the passion, after the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of like media out there now is just follow your passions, follow your dreams.
And
but
I was there, dude. I was one of those salesmen.
same. I was also
You
like
know?
that, you know.
Yeah.
And I was very preachy too about it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It sort of rubs people the wrong way, but at the same time, you also have to be doing something that you enjoy, right? Because if you don't enjoy it, you're just gonna be in a job that you don't like, and you'll be miserable,
Yep.
right? So
Like what you said, you're renting out your time.
yeah, exactly. That's like the Naval podcast that we both liked. And I hit you up, and yeah, he talks about how he calls it specific knowledge, right? Like what makes you unique, and what are things that can't be taught in school, so that you're not irreplaceable. And I think your music has a lot of that, because you know you can't really teach anybody how to be Curtismith. No one can really compete with you, right? Because you're so unique, right?
Being myself, like.
Yeah, being yourself. And was that a strategy that you sort of came into, and you just sort of thought of, okay, I just have to be as uniquely as me as possible? Did that give you an edge over other people, rather than saying, okay, hip hop is trendy right now, or?
Yeah, it was never hip hop is trendy right now. It was always, this is my diary, this is my journal. I never had siblings growing up. I had my friends, but they weren't always there. Parents weren't always there. So my older brothers and sisters were the rappers that I listened to. And you know how you always want to be like your older siblings.
Yeah.
So I just started rapping.
Yeah.
And seeing how they did it, seeing how Drake did it, seeing how Kid Cudi did it, they were never trying to attract an audience like that. They weren't trying to compromise themselves to attract an audience. They were always like, you know, Kid Cudi was always like, I'm your big brother, I'm the man on the moon. And Drake's was more like, oh, this is my relationship with this girl or whatever. Like, F that N-word. You know what I mean? Like, so it was all of these influences that kind of subconsciously taught me how to cultivate my own music.
And I guess rap, since I guess there's a lot of words in it, and it was more of a journal for you before, you could sort of use that. It was a better platform, a better genre for you.
Yeah, and also I didn't expect anyone to be listening to my music. So I could be as like just blunt as possible, like as I wanted. And you know, after I had gotten more traction and I wasn't used to it, there were points in time where I was like, what do people want to hear? Rather than what do I want to say?
Yeah.
Right,
Is that something you're still struggling with now? Because
not bad.
Yeah. So now you're just solely making stuff that you want to write.
Yeah. Just
that's
you
good.
know, as expressive and as honest as possible.
And I guess the motives have to be there, right? The motives have to be clear whenever you're starting any venture, because like people can tell.
Yep.
People can tell when, okay, he's trying to, you know, he's
Trying to get
insecure about
famous,
this,
or
trying to get famous.
Yeah.
You know, so the motives have to be clear, right? So right now, what is your motive when you create music?
there is the selfish motive of wanting to just express myself, and I love making music, and I love, again, I find a beat, and my version of increasing value is trying to find the right pocket where I help the beat sound better. You know what I
That's
mean?
what you said earlier about increasing the value.
Exactly.
So the beat is kind of like your asset,
Yep.
and you add things to it. You invest your time,
Yep,
your
yep.
creativity. I see
So
how
that-
you're putting that business stuff in there now.
Yeah. And so that is the selfish aspect of my approach. And the selfless one is, man, I don't think I'm special to the point where I'm the only one who can do this for myself and do what I love and make money from it. It's just, I think the problem, like jumping to another idea, is that not everyone has the opportunity to fail.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
That's true.
And I was blessed with the opportunity to fail multiple times until I actually found something that created an engine for me.
Yeah.
But without the opportunity to fail, I would have still probably been in one of the jobs that I never wanted to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a roof over your head and food, you'll live, right? And you
Yep.
can start
You can
taking
get
those
by.
risks, right? And like you said, have more opportunities to fail,
Yeah.
right? But most people don't. Like,
Yep.
or a lot of people don't,
Yep.
especially here in the Philippines, right? Like the wealth gap is, man, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I heard that 70% of the GDP went to like 40 families.
That's
40 families, dude.
crazy. And I know like at least 10 of those families, like by name.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
You
So-
just know.
Yes, the C's, the Ayalas, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, not to put any bash in them, but we love your malls, Ayala.
This is not it.
This is not. Oh, this is not Ayala.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the people who don't have that opportunity, let's say, maybe they're in a family where they have to start making money now, right?
Yep.
Because they have to help support families back home. Like when I was in Dubai and on my internship, most of the money that they were making, they were sending back home. I really got to see the OFW life, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. And
How was that like?
it was good, man. And like, well, it was funny because we kind of lived in the middle of the desert. The whole company was great. They worked in the Four Seasons. It was amazing. But we lived in the desert. Like, we lived in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
Nice accommodation. There's a gym. There's a pool. There's everything. But
Nothing else after
yeah,
that, yeah.
after that it's just sand, right?
Yes,
and you
yes.
can see other like houses nearby where the work conditions or the living conditions were even worse, right?
Yeah.
They would line them all up, and they all get haircuts at the same time. It was
What?
really like, and you were shipped to work. You're in a shuttle. You go to work. You come back. They're really like sort of cogs in a machine, right?
Yep.
And we're very fortunate to have the opportunity to actually think, okay, what do I want to do, right? Whereas most people don't have that chance, right? So how do we sort of create a new landscape for those people who want? I'm sure they have dreams too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Everyone has their dreams. Everyone has their things that they want to do, their passions, and everyone's unique in that way. But how do you think we can create a better landscape for the Philippine society to be able to help tap into other people's potential as well?
For me personally, it goes deeper than just making music, and it's getting my hands dirty. And so I wish I knew the exact solution of how to get that done with the position that I'm in. But right now, it's just going to these places and meeting people and seeing what they're looking for, seeing what they need, and working with people who already have experienced this. Whether, like right now, I'm working with the Church of the Nazarene, and a lot of the mentors that I have were former street children.
Oh, wow.
Who were able to graduate college, and they could have just ran with that and made a life better for themselves. But what did they do?
They came back.
They went back and helped
Wow.
more of their people.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And so it's beautiful to be a part of, to be a witness of that, and to put my own little like flavor into helping that out. And so I think just trying to do that in different avenues, even with music, maybe helping other artists.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you have to know who to invest in music. Like, just because you want to help them doesn't mean that they're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I guess that in terms of artistry, there has to be that objectivity. Whereas if you're doing social work, it doesn't matter, dude. Like you're
Yeah.
just helping everyone. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I think the people, I think people who are in a good situation, first of all, and they have roof over their heads and they have food, I think that they should think about it more. I think they should really question themselves and not just sort of be swept with the motions of life. Okay, school, work, and then get a job, right? That's
Yeah.
sort of how we think.
Yeah.
But as for the less fortunate people, man, it's really tough. I don't have an answer, but I think it's a matter of just creating opportunities for them, right? Our farm in Bukidnon, we actually we work with the indigenous people, right? And the main thing there really is to make sure that they have food first. Food
Ooh.
security is important, right? Because if they're not fed, then they won't want to work with you. And securing that food security, and then you start to introduce new technologies for them, and then you become a partner with them. It's not the classic social entrepreneurship thing where the entrepreneur makes all the money and then
Yeah.
you employ them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's actually their partner in it. I think
Cool.
more businesses should think about treating them as an equal partner rather than just like a asset. You know,
Yeah,
like someone who
yeah.
can do the job for me, right?
Yep.
Something
Yep.
like that. So it seems that you've made it a point to be an independent artist, right?
Yeah.
What is it with our generation today that enjoys that type of freedom?
I think it's in terms of the music, it's because the people who could have helped have gotten greedy. And they find artists who are completely oblivious to the business side of things.
So these are like labels who are sort of taking
These are
advantage
major labels, like not the international ones, but I know of quite a few, especially a couple years back. You know, there were contracts that I have friends who were in that had a 5-year contract and then could be renewed without their say.
What?
If the business wanted to renew their contract, then it just gets renewed without their say. Same terms and conditions. And usually it's messed up.
That's
dude.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, and they get, if it's a 360 deal, right? Then they loan you money to make music, and then they get 30% of all your income.
Wow.
And basically the artist, even if he's a multi-million grossing artist, will be lucky if he gets out with one M.
That's crazy, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And you being an independent artist, you kind of own all your equity in a way, right?
Yes and no. I had to make some mistakes along the way, so I don't own all my equity.
Oh, okay.
Wiser now. But I don't own all my equity. I would love to, and I would love to teach that to the future artists.
Yeah, it's good that you learned that early on, right?
Yeah.
Because imagine if you got stuck, you know, and do they control also like the creative side of it?
They could.
They could if they want to.
Depends on the contract. Depends on the company you're working with. You know.
Okay.
Sometimes I know another artist who signed with a major. They gave him the freedom for one project. It didn't hit the numbers they were expecting, and they were like, "We gave you a shot. Put fear into your mind." And then they're like, "Because yours didn't work, you're doing covers now." And that didn't work either. You know.
Yeah.
And they spent 8 years of their life in the business.
Wow.
So they get out of it with crumbs, man.
Wow. And you think those labels, like, are they sort of looking for a formula? Like, okay, this song works or this is hot right now. Is that sort of their mindset? Are there any good labels out there that, you know, actually help you be you?
Yeah, the more independent labels. So there are now, like, if you compare a major label to a major corp or a publicly listed company, that's where it's messed up. And then you have SMEs now that are coming up as labels, and these labels are the ones that tailor the agreement to the artist. Now, there are major corporations that have seen this and are now replicating the model. So that is a shift in the positive direction. But these are also the labels, these major labels are also multinational labels.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
these are the Warners, the Sonys, you know? the ones that are solely Filipino in the oligopoly
Yeah.
are
Terrible.
devious.
Oh my gosh.
Devious.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank God you're in
Not in it,
artist.
man.
Yeah. You're out.
Yeah.
So you're a Seth Godin fan. I saw you
Yes,
reading
yeah.
This Is Marketing.
This is marketing.
When
Yeah.
when did you reach your 1,000 true fans? But before that, why don't you like explain a little bit about the whole idea about the 1,000 true fans?
The idea of the 1,000 true fans is you only need 1,000 true fans to be able to sustain yourself as an artist or live comfortably. And me personally, I don't even look to 1,000. I look to 50 to 100. Because I can't overlook 1,000 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a true fan is the people that you're really in touch with and all of these things. So I'd go for 50 to 100. The people who actually show up to my gigs, the people who actually tell me how I changed their, or how my song has changed their life, and what they're doing now. You know, it's a relationship. It's like a friendship, and that is how I approach it, rather than I need 1,000 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully I have more than 1,000 people listening to me, and I go around and some people go up to me and do appreciate my work, but I don't know, like you can't gauge it. When someone tells you they like your music, you don't know if
They're for real.
they're for real, they like one song or they like the whole catalog.
Yeah.
So like, it's really the time invested into conversation with them that brings that out. And it's only the people who really want to converse with you who expose that part of themselves to you, and you're able to get a better picture of how your relationship is, or how the dynamic is between you, Curtismith, the entity, and the person you're speaking to.
Yeah. And Mito Fabie. Don't forget about him.
Yeah, well, me, the entity of Curtismith, and then the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, quick question. Work with, party with, or kill?
Whoa.
Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Kid Cudi.
What? That's good. That's good.
This is from Sean, by the way, from Kyler. This is his question.
Nice. That's a good.
Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean. That's a good question. Work with, party with, and kill.
Yeah.
Work with Kendrick.
Okay.
Party with Cudi. Kill Drake.
You'd kill Drake.
I'd kill Drake.
Look at the camera right now and say you'd kill Drake.
I'd kill Drake.
So why Kendrick though? Why him? Why do you want to work with him? Because wasn't Kid Cudi the first person sort of inspired you to do it all?
Yeah. Yes, he was.
So you just rather just party with him because
I'd rather party with him as a celebration, maybe. Kendrick, his moves are phenomenal. From when Section 80 came out, right? He has like Overly Dedicated, which was like the independent him with a mixtape, trying to figure out how to make good hooks. And then he got like people to invest in him when he made Section 80. And from Section 80 all the way up to Damn, it's just been growth. In like, whether it be cerebral, whether it be the content, all of these things I feel is just so on point. And even his videos, you know, all the visuals, his branding, his merch, it's all cohesive. The reason why Drake would be in the kill category is because Drake is just, give me that cash, give me that dough. You know what I mean? And I was like hella for that for the longest time, until you're not, and you're like, it takes a certain type of person to be like that.
Yeah.
So parang kill him.
I don't like Drake either.
You don't like him?
I don't like him.
I mean, I love that he makes hits. I love that he's still genuine with his music, but you know.
Yeah, I feel like he has like all his songs are like boom, ba boom, ba boom. Ba,
Yeah.
Right?
Now
You notice that?
Now he's doing British things.
British things?
Yeah, like
Stormzy stuff?
Like if you listen to his most recent track, he is rapping in a British accent.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's
Why?
crazy. He's, you know.
Because he can.
Because he can.
Because he's Drake.
Because he's Drake.
Yeah, he basically owns the Raptors.
Yep, exactly.
You still watch NBA though?
I watched last season's playoffs. Because I had
Live?
money. No.
Oh.
I have money on Golden State. I was so sure Golden State was gonna win.
No, dude, no.
And then
With
yeah,
KD.
so I bet some money with my friend Francis. I still haven't paid him.
Francis is the
Yeah.
Being Frank podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Being Frank podcast.
Shout out to
Watch it.
Francis.
If you want like the whole lowdown on his story, they do a really good dive into his story there.
And that's because Francis has been one of my best friends since I was in high school.
Mhm.
So he wasn't afraid to like just go straight to like the emotional,
Yeah.
hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. That
He
was a
seems
fun
like a
session.
cool guy though.
He's super cool. Like you get along with him.
Yeah, we
Chill
should
guy.
hang out soon.
Yeah.
Well, he started a podcast. Why? He
Out of his own initiative.
just for yeah.
Yeah, just well, he's always been a rapper. He's always made music,
Oh.
but it was the podcasts that really fueled him to get his work out. So
Oh.
I'm behind it, you know?
It's true. And like today, I mean, there's so many new opportunities, right? Because of the internet. And a lot of our parents that say will give us advice and take this job, take that job, but they don't realize like there's this whole new landscape out there, right?
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
so many new opportunities out there, and like a podcast is one of that's why we're here today.
Yep.
Right, we're experimenting right now,
Mhm.
and that's what he's doing. I think there should be. I think the Filipinos haven't, and in the whole world actually, haven't realized the change yet, right?
For sure. I was in a Mano Amiga Tatler collaborative event, and then there was this one speaker who was saying that people in our generation don't need to have one job anymore.
Yeah.
You need to understand what is your skill set
Mm.
and then apply that into different aspects of making money, different
Yeah.
avenues of making money. And it's cool that we can do that because we have the internet.
Yeah.
So with me, for example, it is the music, and then it is these like the social media game, and then it is negosyo. So I'm trying to find ways that I can utilize myself in different avenues.
Negosyo is what? Sorry, like go negosyo?
No negosyo like my I have a restaurant in La Union.
Oh, the sabong.
Yeah.
Why you mention negosyo? Is that your
A
group?
business like.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
super konyo.
Laugh trip, dude.
Man, I out konyoed you.
Yep,
That's
yep.
it. Must be a first.
This is a moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so you dropped out of college for a while in UANP, right?
Yeah, I
to
did.
pursue trading stocks.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, so I was studying in UANP, and I would walk there, and then I would always pass TechTite, and that was the Philippine Stock Exchange at the time, before it didn't have its stock exchange yet. So I walked in.
There's a stock exchange in the fort now?
Yeah.
Oh.
The PSC is now in the fort.
Oh, it's there now.
Yeah, and Makati. So
I thought it was in Artigas.
not anymore.
Not anymore.
But they do still have traders there.
Oh, so they still have there. Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, when I was there, it was more of a hub for trading.
Mhm.
And I wanted to learn about it, so I had a little bit of savings. I put a lot of my money in it, and I started investing. I got super hooked on it, as we do when we're very passionate with things, and just blinders. And I was like, I don't need to do school. I'm making money here. You know what I mean? And it was like during the time where it was just a bull market, so like it was hard to kind of fuck it up.
Yeah.
you know
So
what
you
I
were
mean?
making money, like
I was
trading these
making.
stocks.
I bought at the right time. I let it rise, but I didn't know when to sell. I invested in some penny stocks that were suspended or just were taken out of the stock market.
Yeah.
Example, EG. You know what I mean? And then there was this one shipping company that got suspended and never.
Got your money back.
Yeah, I never got my money back.
Well, since you're a musician and you had that experience in the stock market, I thought you should know. I don't know if you know about the app called VETS, VEZT.
No.
So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's a scam or not. But you can try it. And since you're talking about your numbers and stuff, I think you like this.
Okay.
They basically, as a musician, you can treat your song like they call it an ISO, initial song offering. So it's like a stock.
Okay.
So your fans buy like a percentage, and they get a percentage of your royalties.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how everything all works, but I just thought you'd be interested in that.
That's a very interesting concept. Very.
Then you can see who your 1,000
So
true
they
fans
they
are.
bid for a share.
Yeah.
Ganon.
Yeah.
Galing.
And there's some good artists on it.
Galing.
Yeah.
Cool.
cool.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Vezd.
Vezd.
Okay.
Yeah, Vezd.
Cool. Nice. Nice.
So after trading stocks, and you transferred from UANP to the one school.
The one school.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the one school, how it was different.
It was, it was a house.
It was a
The
house?
school was in a house in
What?
Paseo de Rojas, dude. Yeah. There were like 8 students in the whole school.
8 students?
A lot, maybe like 12.
Okay.
A lot of them are
But
older
big,
than
big
me.
difference.
Yeah, exactly. University. But it was great because it was so personalized, and the people behind it were brilliant.
Mm.
And so they really cared about seeing kids flourish with the strengths that they had.
Yeah.
So because the school was so small, they could really see you on an everyday basis
Mm-hmm.
and see what kind of person are you, and kind of like just point you to the direction that they think you'd be better at.
Mm.
Because when you're at that age, right, you're like, I can do anything I want. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so talented, And they're like, okay,
Slow down.
look past the ego.
Yeah.
Let's go in the right direction. And for the longest time, they were like, you should just try doing music.
Oh, so they
were the ones who telling me to do music, and I was like, no, man, like I'm not gonna make money from music. I'm gonna.
It's art.
Yeah,
Nobody makes music from art.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm gonna, try these different ventures. And it was always up to the idea. Like after ideation, the execution was always like, you know what I mean? And so I learned a lot from that too. Eventually, that helped me because my course was Entrep. It helped me with my music because I was not solely an artist. I
Yeah.
had that.
Background.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
yeah, but I really believe in the whole idea of personalizing education, right? I think it's very important. I wrote this article once called "Play the Infinite Game of Learning." Basically, it's about because when you go into school, it's kind of like school is a game, right? And college is kind of like this one big game that you play. And I call it the degree game,
Okay.
right? So you go into college, and there's the campus is your playing field, right? You're the player.
Cool.
There's 4 levels you have to go through: freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Yeah.
There are grades; those are the metrics, right, of the game. There's the
Okay.
point system, right?
Okay.
And then there are rules to the game. The rules are you have to jump over all these academic obstacles, right?
Mhm.
And then once you achieve all the levels, some people hit pause and take a gap year, or they take a leave of absence. Some people fail some levels; they have to
Yep.
repeat, right? And then once you complete all the academic obstacles, you get that degree, and that's like the prize that you win, right? And that degree is supposed to help you get a new job, right? The problem with the degree game is that it's super ironic because it's not the point of education.
Yeah.
The point of education is to learn, right? And
mhm.
if there's no learning, Sir Ken Robinson said, if there's no learning going on, there's no education going on, right?
Yeah.
But they made the whole point of college the degree, right? And so all of your experiences ties into, okay, I gotta take this test, do this just to get the degree. And then when you graduate, you realize, maybe I didn't even tap into my potential.
Yeah, man. You work so hard and pay so much for a piece of paper a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And Mark Twain did say it about like, I don't let school interfere with my education.
Yeah.
So like, but it's cool that like I feel like Enderan is more of a forward-thinking school, and help cultivate you to your strengths. I have a lot of friends who were super lost before they went to Enderan, and then when they graduated, they're all like doing really well for themselves.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's known to be a kick-out school,
yeah,
right?
but I mean, it's giving these people a chance.
Exactly.
to-
And people who have that second chance,
Yeah.
they sort of they want to prove themselves
Mhm.
more. And Enderan academically, it's easy. I have to say honestly, it's
Cool,
easy,
cool.
which is good because
Yeah.
it gives you more time to explore different things. That's how
That's
I
cool.
felt when I
Nice.
was in. I was like, okay, wow, this is easy. Okay, let's try some other stuff. Let's experiment here. Let's play basketball. Let's do that.
Yeah.
But when you're in a college setting, I mean, it's a beautiful setting, college setting, because you have all these old people who know stuff, and you have all these young people who want to know stuff. But the problem is, there's so many different things that come in the way of that in a school. You have the classrooms, you have your different batches, you have your different courses. You're missing that sort of social interaction that you could have, for example, met a teacher in a different college and learned so much from them, but you're not
Yeah.
in that course.
Yep.
So we're all sort of clumped into these courses, right? What do you think? Like people in college, how should they approach their college life? Coming from you.
Drop out? Just kidding. Man, I don't know. I would be the worst person to get advice from
I
about
think you'd be the best
schooling.
person to ask, actually, because you have that perspective of, okay, school isn't what people sort of say it is, though it's important. And don't get me wrong, if you probably should go to college
The right
if you can
school
afford
is
it.
the right school for you, right? But it's about that. It's finding the right school. What is your motivation behind doing school?
Yeah.
Is it to get that piece of paper? Is it to satisfy what your parents want from you? Are you really learning about yourself, like what you said? Are you being educated, or are you just getting by because you think that that piece of paper is going to get you a job and you think that job is going to make your life better?
That's true.
If that's the case, you gotta realign.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta readjust how you think.
But it's so hard when you're in that system because, I mean, the workload. It's like you got a test to do, you got this class. You
Oh,
don't
it's
really have
crazy.
time to stop and think about it.
It's crazy.
Do you think like you dropping out for a while also gave you that breathing room to think about things more and really just digest? Okay,
Yeah. Well, my perspective also, I was like rebeloid. So I was like, why are you making me work so hard? You know what I mean? Why am I killing myself to get this grade?
yeah,
And then it translated into you're just molding me to be a good employee.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And so even in high school I was like that, and when that kind of was ingrained in my brain, I was just like, I'm not gonna study anymore. This is not gonna take me where I wanna go. I regret it now. A lot of the time, because now I'm actually into science and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But back then I was just like, you're just molding me to be an employee. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that was the fire in me.
yeah,
That was the rebel in me. And you know, after you grow up and you learn that like a lot of the things they were teaching was actually really cool, you and you take your pride down, your
Yeah.
ego aside. It's like, okay, cool.
yeah.
I get
and
it.
Reconnect with old teachers maybe, and
I have yet to do that really.
that'll be fun.
Have you? Have you done that?
Well, I'm there a bunch of times. Right?
So you're still in
I
touch
still
with
see
them?
them. Yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, it's good.
Is the relationship between you and them more casual now that you have graduated from their class?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I think, well, it was always pretty casual. Like teachers in Endern are pretty chill.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean, I sort of grew up there, right? So
Yeah.
it was like, it's like Endern's family for me. Like all the teachers and staff and employees it's like I've seen them since I was like high, right?
That's
So
awesome.
it was a cool experience because, yeah, it was just an awesome time. But let's talk about fried chicken for a second.
Oh, I love fried chicken.
You started a fried chicken company.
Restaurant. Just a
Restaurant.
restaurant. Yeah, we're incorporating soon, finally.
So tell me like the story of how it all started, this whole sabong idea. It was with two other friends, right?
Yeah, it was with three initially.
Three?
We're down to two friends, including and then myself. So we're three now. And it was. What was the situation back then? I was talking to one of my friend Anjo, who is now my business partner also. And he owned a restaurant in Maginhawa at the time.
Oh, that's a really good food spot.
It's a really good food spot. But the business wasn't going well for one reason or another. But he was good. And I knew he was good. So I was like, hey man, in your next venture, count me in. Like I would love to be involved in it. So I didn't expect that to go anywhere, but all of a sudden I get a call and he's like, hey man, and we had gone to La Union before together. He was like, hey man, there's a spot in La Union. I have a friend named Rafi, and I kind of knew Rafi like as an acquaintance at the time. And he was cool. Like I mean, I really enjoyed speaking to him. He's good at like he always had good conversation. So I was like, let's try this out. Let's sit down. Let's meet up, and as well as the other partner from Enderon actually.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Really?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Off screen. But yeah. So we all met. We all conceptualized. At the time I was doing the initial branding of it.
So you're
So
more
I was
on the
talking to
branding
the graphic
side.
designers and all that stuff, and then
Branding's nice, by the way.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And then the other partner who's gone now from Enderon did the menu with Andrew. Andrew was more of the the operation. I know Rafi was the operations and Andrew was more of like the CEO type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yun, a couple kinks along the way. We worked it out. It's a smooth engine now, and we serve really good fried chicken.
How
Yeah.
often do you go back there? Like to
Every
visit?
2 weeks.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just take the bus.
Really?
Yeah.
How
It's
long is the ride?
5 hours, 4 or 5 hours. So you
Not so
leave at like
bad.
11 p.m. You get there like 3 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not so bad.
Super chill.
I've never been to La Union.
I am somebody who doesn't like crowds, so I don't usually go on weekends because that's.
Ah, okay.
So what happened? Also, the luck that happened when we came up with the business was that Bora had just closed down in
Ah,
2017. So everyone from Manila going to Bora went to La Union.
Yeah. Or
Put
Siargao.
Or Siargao, but Siargao's expensive, right?
Oh, is it?
Oh, a flight there, round trip.
Oh, yeah, because you take a
16K
flight.
pare.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. Comparison to a bus ride or like a drive.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of the people were just going there to La Union, and that was able to help obviously get customers and gain traction. But you know, when I go to the beach, I'm not looking for crowds. So I like to go on the weekdays.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
usually empty.
There's a lot of people now who like, when they're done in college, they sort of just move to the beach and
Yep.
they start their own business there.
Mhm.
But you still, I mean, you have music that you have to do here. So, but would you go full-time beach?
I would go 4 or 5 days a week in the beach.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do that, and I should. And it's part of it's a trajectory that I want to take. But at this point in my life, my dream is to be able to work abroad for certain portions of the year.
Oh.
So maybe like spend 2 3 months, make income in Hong Kong, 2 3 months, make income in Japan,
Wow.
America, Europe. Like that would be
Awesome.
awesome.
Was it the Japan trip that sort of? Oh, this was an idea before, pa.
It was an idea before Japan, but when I went to Japan, I was like,
Confirmed it.
it confirmed it. It taught me like I get a better mindset when I'm out of Manila all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just getting that inspiration and that influence from all
Oh,
around.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's cool.
But like, where would you go besides? Like, is there a set place in mind, or you just want to try a bunch of different things?
Right now, the most realistic thing for me would be Hong Kong.
Okay.
It's so close. It's
Right
like
now, though.
maybe after the protests.
Yeah.
But right now, dude, that's a car ride. I mean, if you're talking time, that's a car ride from Pasig to Alabang at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
fly out 1 2 hours on the plane, get there. And if you have a way to make money over there, that's
Yeah.
first world money.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see. Because what I know about it is so limited. I don't know anything about where I could be an asset. Right now, I just see it as a financial hub. You know.
But you still want to perform there as well, or other stuff, business.
Whatever. I'm open to whatever. So, yeah, man. We'll see.
But you being sort of like an independent artist, and you have gigs usually at night, right? So your days are pretty free.
My days are pretty free.
What do you do like during the day? Like, are you
That's up
Just-
to me.
you just chill, you hang out?
That's up to me. So a lot of the time it will be events. It'll be like for example yesterday, right? Yesterday I woke up at 9, did some meal prepping.
Oh, you meal prep
I'm
now.
trying to
Oh,
start, bro.
okay.
I got some chicken breasts, you know. And then afterwards I went to Recto because
With
they're
the fake IDs.
also. But I have a friend putting something up there, and he's looking for investors. So I checked out the spot. Saw like I needed to see if it was a fit for me, and we'll see. It's very promising though. And then afterwards, I went to the studio that I'm investing in, which is in Capitolio.
Oh.
And then afterwards, I went to a meeting in Podium. Thankfully, it was all close by. So you know what I mean? Like, it's all random.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about what I'm doing is just the freedom to control my own time.
Yeah.
And that's also the problem to that, the con to that is that I can just not do anything if I
Yeah.
wanted to. So it's that inner motivation to like make sure I get out of the house. Because when I'm in the house, I'm chilling. Yeah.
You're just Netflixing and
Doing whatever, reading, like, but living in that bubble, which is not always the best.
yeah. It seems like you want to be like a VC.
Venture capitalist?
Yeah, in a way.
Maybe.
I mean, you're investing in all these things, you're starting things.
Yeah.
Maybe like towards the end you'll be a
Hopefully, if I make the right moves, right?
yeah.
Do you see yourself doing that also?
I would like to be. I
Mhm.
would like to be a VC. I think it's fun. I think like starting something is fun,
Yeah.
and the thrill of starting something is fun,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I think you share that same passion, right? And the risk.
Yeah.
It's fun to take risks.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Well, it's for certain people. It's not.
It
for
is for
everybody.
certain people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people operate better in a system where, they have a set of things that they're supposed to do that day, right? And it's totally fine. And not everyone has to take risks. Not everyone has to be ambitious, right?
Yeah.
And it's sort of hardwired into people as well, right? The experiences that you've gone through.
Yep.
I think it's genetic as well, because
But they say it's nature and nurture.
nature nurture.
Yeah. So, that's also why I can't tell. Like, I never want to tell people what to do, like
Yeah.
follow your dreams or whatever,
Yeah.
because I realize like people are molded differently.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And it has to do with your background and all of these things. So, my problem before is that I thought everyone had the same ideals as me.
Yes.
You know.
Same.
Yeah. So you realize, that's why you get haters, because not everybody is molded the same
Yeah.
way.
Exactly.
And it's about finding the like-minded individuals and connecting with them.
Yeah.
Fuck the noise, right?
That's true. Yeah, and that's sort of what this whole podcast is about. It's trying to figure out what makes you unique and how you can use that to create value for others. So
And the name is good, dude.
Oh,
The
you like the name?
individual collective.
it's what do you call those oxymorons?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, everyone comments on that part. They're like, "Ooh, you got
That's
that
a good
task
name,
there."
dude. That's a good name. Have you
I
got
feel
it?
like anytime you throw in the word collective, millennials will like it though.
No, for sure, dude. For sure. Like,
Collective, collection, other words. What are the other words?
collective is really the main one, I think. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not so exclusive,
Yeah,
but at the same time, it does have an exclusivity to it.
yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's cool. I respect it.
That's cool. Now, besides the whole fried chicken business, what other businesses do you want to start personally? Not are there businesses that you say, okay, this is a startup I want to start, or a business you want to start, or are you just looking for partners?
So the ones that come out of my mind as an idea, a fresh idea, right now are more in the social work. And trying to make the right social enterprise, partnering with these people, because this is how I think that I can improve their lives,
Yeah.
build a connection, give back. In terms of the ventures that I'm doing now, as investments solely, they are in line with what I do. So now I'm investing in a studio, a music studio. And I'm also investing in the person behind the studio. Shout out Stilo, shout out Mango Room. And what we want to do there is we want to make world-class music, because Stilo is from San Francisco.
Wow.
And he's worked with E40, he's worked with the Jeremiah, he's worked with like these international artists. And he moved to the Philippines 2 years ago to really try and up himself in the game of music and really help out the Philippines. And so I'm behind that. I see the people he's worked with, even in the Philippines. He was working with like Sila Al James and Sila Shanty Dope before they popped off. You know what I mean? And this guy has been here for 2.5 years. You know, he knows so many more like local artists than I do.
Yeah.
Because like out of music, I'm hanging out with my homies. You know, this guy is putting in the work. Like music is his life.
Yeah.
And I super admire that about him. I do believe that I can be of value to the whole system that he's operating in now.
Yeah.
And so that's been where I've been focusing on recently.
So they're gonna release tracks. Is it sort of like a label, or
The works. Right now we're at the point of finishing the studio and attracting people to come in. For me personally, it was always me going outside of my comfort zone to record, to make music, this and that. this studio enables me to invite people over, and
okay.
make music in a comfortable setting.
Yeah.
And right now we're just working on that, the energy of the place, the people involved.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
What's the design gonna be like? Do you have any, like, because you said the energy of the
Cozy.
place.
It's
So
cozy.
you just want to make it super chill.
It's
Bean
cozy.
bags.
Yeah,
make it-
yeah. It's really cozy. Like we have like a living room. It's 4 rooms, 3 studios.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty big. And
So you get multiple guests artists recording at the same time.
yep. Well, so right now one is the recording room and like the beat ideation. The other one is the mixing and mastering room. You have the chill spot, like if you want to play video games or just do office work or whatever.
I'll be there.
Dude, come through, come through. But right now, again, we're still under construction. It's like 30% of what it's meant to be. But the bare minimum is there. Like I recorded my first song in that room last night. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's a really fun energy. We're looking for the right people to be involved, and I'm very excited about it too.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of, like, when it comes to anything creative, it's just also about putting things out there, right? Because like there's this story about this pottery class, and he separated the class into 2, right? So one side of the class, he said, just make one really good pot,
Okay.
and then the other side he was like, try to make as many pots as you can. And at the end, they tried to see who made the best pot. That was actually the side of the class who made as many pots as they can, right? Is that also how you approach your music? Like, do you just try to put things out there? I mean, of course, you have quality in the back of your mind, but is it about just constantly writing songs and then choosing, okay, this will go out?
That's me.
That's you. Yeah.
There are 2 philosophies, right?
Okay.
So that's my philosophy, and then the other philosophy is you gotta plan. You gotta plan the song, you know, and then it gotta be it. It's calculated to the point where it's more of a calculation than a song. Because a song is just a vibe. You know, a song is just an energy you're releasing to the world, and it's a crazy concept to think a song, even when you're gone, is still there. I can listen to Mac Miller and Nipsey Hussle, and still feel like they're right there. I can imagine them rapping those lyrics on the mic.
Yeah.
And yet they're gone. So when those instances happened, it put that perspective for me into my music. And like, what is the content that I'm coming out with? Is it a lot of the time, like with my work in 2018 and 2019 also, it was a response to what was being thrown at me. An emotional response to what was being thrown at me. Oh, you don't like me? Here, I'm gonna make you not like me even more. Stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took me the forgiveness for myself and the understanding of other people to finally realize, I'm not doing this for y'all. You know, one thing to know with your head, one thing to know with your heart. I understand now, like, I'd like to believe I understand now, that this is not for them. This is not for the people who don't want it to be for them.
It's again the true fans that you're sort of making it for, and also yourself, right?
Yeah, well, I grew up a people pleaser also, so it was kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I grew up just like trying to
Please
people,
everybody.
please everyone. So
Why though?
I don't know, maybe because I wanted to be accepted. You know?
Yeah, I accept you, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I have a fun question for you.
Okay.
Since you're in the fried chicken business,
Uh-huh.
McDonald's,
Okay.
KFC,
Jollibee.
Jollibee. But here's
Okay.
the criteria:
Okay.
skin,
Okay.
best skin, best meat.
I'm salivating, dude.
Let's get some evidence. And best gravy.
Good. I think best gravy would be mokto,
I agree.
right? Best skin would be, okay, this is my thing, right? When I order Jollibee, I like the chicken the best because of the spice.
Okay.
Spicy chicken with spaghetti, that is my thing.
Two-piece?
C3. 1 piece lang, dude. C3. Regular
C3.
drink, iced tea.
C3.
I know it, dude. Automatic. So that's why I would say Jollibee. But if we're talking original, like just original skin,
Yeah.
KFC.
Really? You like the
Yeah.
soggy skin?
Dude, I do. I like soggy fries.
What?
I like soggy fries.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Come on.
I'm pineapple on pizza guy. You know, I eat cold
Oh.
pizza too.
I like cold pizza.
Yeah.
Cold pizza is okay, man. But for me, it's like McDo skin,
Mm-hmm.
KFC meat,
Interesting. Okay.
right? Because I mean, the soggy skin's good. Like KFC chicken's good. For me though, the KFC gravy is kind of bland. I don't
For
taste.
me, it's too malapot.
Yeah, it's
You know
very
what I
wet.
mean?
It's
Yeah.
not like McDo has that thickness to it and
Yeah.
that flavor punch. Jollibee's gravy was a little too sweet for me,
Mm.
you know.
Mm.
But they've sort of made it more savory recently. But hands down, those are the three.
Nice.
Good to have your intel on the chicken business.
Sabong #1 pa rin.
Before we wrap up, what are some of the book recommendations that you have? Because we're gonna put it on our site.
Cool. Yeah, so this is Marketing by Seth Godin, was really cool. The Godfather.
The
The book
The book?
is so good.
Better than the movie.
Okay, so this is the story behind it, right? So I used to watch The Godfather and be like, all right, this is okay. I like Scarface better. And then I read the book and then I watched the movie again and I was like, I understand now because the book elaborates on the mental process of each character. So you know what the Godfather is thinking, you know what Michael Corleone is thinking, and all these things, and you get a better context of things.
Yeah.
And also the politics and the dynamics between characters is so real. So that book like really blew me away.
The Godfather.
And then what else? Principles by Ray Dalio.
Okay.
That's really cool. He's like
What's that about?
he's one of the biggest hedge fund managers in the world, a multi-billion-dollar company, and he never lost who he was as a person. And like you can beg to differ, you can argue, but I would like to believe that he is a genuine person, and he talks about his philosophies and how on his pride, on how he was able to make a successful business. And it had a lot to do with teamwork, a lot to do with understanding the reality of the situation, decision making.
Yeah.
And right now I'm reading Mastermind, which is a book about this criminal named Paul LaRue, who's based in the Philippines. This is real.
Wow.
I think he was just imprisoned in 2016.
Wow.
And he was one of the biggest drug dealers in the world.
What?
Yeah. And what he was doing was he was selling prescription pills without the necessary paperwork to America.
And he distributed it in a way.
Yep.
Wow.
He was like a mastermind talaga.
Wow.
And if he wasn't a criminal, you could call him a genius.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he
is a genius
evil
still.
genius.
Yeah, he's an evil genius. But like it's just like I don't want to put him on that level and admire him like that because he was messed up too. Like he killed people in Subic,
Oh shit.
chopped them up and stuff.
Yeah. Oh man.
This is real, and like his office was in BDO, 14th floor, Makati.
Oh my gosh.
It's that detailed.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's cool. That's really
I'm
cool.
gonna read that book.
Yeah, you should. What about you? Do you have any books to recommend?
Yeah, I have. Upstarts is good. It's
haven't
like
read
the
that.
story of Airbnb and Uber,
Cool.
how it all upstarted.
More tech, more on the tech
Yeah,
side.
more tech side. I haven't been reading that much. The Alchemist.
Of course.
Have you seen-
Dude, my
have you-
first
yeah.
tattoo is Maktub.
Really?
Yeah.
Great book.
It's
That
written-
changed my life in a way.
Same, dude.
Yeah.
Same.
That's good. What else? All of them are more business stuff.
Cool.
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. You should read it.
I've never.
Yeah, I
actually.
mean the movies are also just amazing. Like I just rewatched The Fellowship of the Ring.
Mhm.
That's my favorite movie. Of all
Did you
time.
like the movie that much before reading it?
I watched the movie first because I was too young to read back then.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I read it after. It was great.
So I was like, when I would watch Lord of the Rings, I was kind of like, you know what I mean? But that's also
Yeah.
how I feel about Star Wars. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, like.
Man, okay, this show's
It's
let's
done.
Stop the show.
But yeah, maybe if I read it, I'll like it better because it gives me a better grasp of like
Yeah.
the intricate details about it. You know.
Actually,
Yeah.
very the whole Lord of the Rings thing was very based off the Bible. If you look at all the scenes, like there's a scene where the girl is running away from the ring wraiths and the water comes in, and that's like Egypt. You know, there's so many different, like when Gandalf fell from the stone.
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
did
yeah.
the sign of the cross. Like he sacrificed himself
And he comes
for
back
that.
to
He comes back
life.
to life.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah, yeah.
because the writer is Christian, J.R. Tolkien.
Yes, yes, yeah.
He was best friends with C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis is cool.
Yeah, with the Narnia stuff. Right?
See Mere Christianity also, diba?
Yeah, Mere Christianity is good.
Yeah.
Anything you want to promote right now? Any upcoming albums?
Nah, man, just love yourself. Love yourself. Yeah.
Cool, man. Mito Fabie, thank you for
Dude,
being on
thank
the
you for
show.
having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. This is great.